Roland Willits, OMS Stories. I'm here with Maurice Pritz. Did I pronounce it correct?
Yep.
Wow!
My mother spelled it Maurice, and she called me Morris. I never did figure that out.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So when I'm down here doing music, it's Maurice, and when I'm home, it's Morris or Hey You.
Hey, you. Huh?
Yeah.
So you got many names.
I guess.
Have you had other names when you were growing up? Did you have a nickname in high school?
I had a nickname in grade school. They called me Pretzel.
Pritz? Oh, yeah, that's cool. That fit really good, wouldn't it?
Well, I guess because when I started high school, I was 5'2" and weighed 92 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you sure changed.
Yeah, I changed between the sophomore and junior year. I grew 5 inches that summer, and they didn't know me when I come back to school.
Wow.
Then all of a sudden, I was able to play basketball. Otherwise, I sat on the sideline with a T-shirt that was 3 sizes too big for me.
Oh my golly. And I grew really fast when I was young. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
I think I was born before supplements.
Yeah, my son, he's like 6 foot almost, and just arms out like that. It's like I look up at him, and I was bigger than my dad. My dad was a shorter. So
My youngest son is about 6'4".
is he really?
Yeah.
He played basketball too,
No,
right?
he didn't.
He did?
Didn't do sports. His career in the Army and military.
Well, he did. He's doing sports then.
Yeah.
You know, the rough kind.
Yeah.
So, where's he stationed?
He's in Wichita, Kansas right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
so he's close to home.
Yeah, not far.
I mean, anything in the same state is close.
Yes, yeah. He spent a year in Baghdad in Iraq in active duty. And when he was there, he was trained in internal affairs, and his office was all the news media from the worldwide that came into Baghdad.
Wow.
He would help line out their schedules for them. So that was his job over there. He was there a year. He was scheduled to be one of 2 escorts for the young lady newscaster from
Right.
England.
Yes.
And if you remember back, she went into one of those roadside bombs. Well, his orders got changed 5 days before, and 2 other guys were escorts for her, and they got killed.
Wow.
So that's how close he was.
Wow.
So
Life is just
like that.
Yep.
Yeah, just like that.
So,
But she spent a long time in a hospital in Germany, if you remember that. It was in national news
Right.
about her. Yeah. So that was the deal there.
now you like to talk to old timers and get their stories, don't you?
Yeah, I'm interested in what people have to say and where they come from, what they did, and interesting.
He's a story gatherer. I'm trying to recruit him here for Old Man Stories. He'd be a perfect candidate. Yes, you find out unique things about all kinds of people.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I still tell my kids I don't know what I want to do when I grow up.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you have one thing. You're gonna be a storyteller because you tell stories now, don't you?
Somewhat, I guess.
Well, Morris, I just introduced him to the 208 different subjects in Old Men Stories.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 52 weeks in a year times 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think about it?
Interesting. Yeah. How neat. I think people will be interested in that.
Think you could do 208 things in yourself?
Well, I probably could dig up something.
I know. See?
Yeah.
He is a storyteller. Yeah, and that hat. Where'd you get that hat? You've got the. I love the Roadrunner on top.
Yeah, I got that from a fellow musician. Used to come down there, can't come anymore because health reasons. From Iowa, Jack Long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he always had a Roadrunner on his hat, and I'm probably the next guy in line to have that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was an interesting guy. Loved them people.
That's wonderful. And you sing at a lot of jams. What jams do you sing at down here?
Oh, I go to Weaver's Needle. I go to Superstition Lookout. I go to Meridian Manor. I go to Silver Spur. Let's see. And then I go to some gospel jams on Sundays. There'll be one this Sunday over at Superstition Lookout.
Oh, okay.
I'll be part of that. Yeah, we've been jamming about 6 times a week. Got a jam in our own park in Golden Vista.
Yeah.
Neat little jam.
It's a neat place. And I saw you play. You're awesome on the guitar.
Well, I don't know about that. I've been 35 years learning how to hold it right.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Having started in August,
Yeah.
I understand. It's like, oh, I'll get this thing done in a couple weeks.
You know how you get to Carnegie Hall?
How?
Practice, 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 and then practice some more.
That's right. That's right.
People like Chet Atkins, they played 7 hours a day.
Wow.
They had to keep the rust off.
Wow.
To be that good. That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
I have another agenda. However, I am learning.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I go to the jams. I sort of try to sit in back and just because I know if I sit in back, I'll work on it for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And you can learn a lot when you're around other people that know what they're doing.
Yes, you can. I sit and watch other people and where they move their hands and all of it, and it's just so fascinating. And so that's a good way to learn is sit at those jams. Except I feel so sorry if someone's sitting in front of me. It's like he's trying to. He knows how to play and he's singing, and you got this fella sitting in back. But I can't hear the notes because the holes right there is going forward.
Right.
But that poor guy in front of me.
Yeah.
It's like you get that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But they're all patient, real patient up there.
Yeah. Yeah, I've learned a lot going to these jams. That's helped my music a lot. Got my own style. I'm still learning. I tell people I'm in sandbox 1, just looking over the edge. So, I got straightened out this year. Like I say, I've been trying to learn how to hold it properly for 30-some years.
What'd you learn?
And Leon McGregor straightened me out this year.
What'd he do?
Found out I had my strap on upside down. That's a no-no.
Oh, that's
with guitar players. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No.
I looked at my strap and said, well, it's sort of on. You really have to pay attention to your strap.
I guess, yeah.
Well, Leon is a toughie. I
yeah.
interviewed Leon right here, and he's a toughie. He looked at me like he's from North Dakota.
Yes, yes.
Are you a rancher?
Yeah, I live on a farm. I have cows and calves, and I have a daughter named Robin. She takes care of those while I'm out here for the winter. I couldn't be here.
Oh wow! Does she you milk them yet?
No, they're stock cows.
They're stock. Okay, they're cattle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stock cow.
Stock cow is what?
Yeah.
What is that? What's the difference between a cattle and a stock cow?
Well, cattle is all ranges, I guess, but the stock cows are you raise the calves to sell for feeder cattle. Then they go to the feedlots and fattened out, and then they're slaughtered for human consumption.
Oh, okay.
Then the dairy cattle are milk cows.
Right.
Everybody started with a milk cow in the 1800s.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So And then there's people that raise breeding stock, sell bulls, or they sell breeding heifers. That's a whole different ball game. A lot of paperwork for that one.
Oh, I bet there is.
Oh, yes.
Keeping track of the lineage and
Yes.
that.
Yeah, they've come a long way with the genetics of cattle. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
And on your farm, you have horses?
No. Well, I have one horse.
Do you have one horse?
Yeah.
Well, that's a surprise. Usually I say no. Usually a no is the normal answer. You have one horse. Wow.
I have one. It's a Japanese quarter horse.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. It's a Kawasaki four-wheeler.
Oh.
Every rancher has one
Everyone
or two.
has one.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about running out of oats or anything like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I have a bombardier. But that's another story about how I ended up with this super fast four-wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me more about it. You know, when you go out with your four-wheeler, you don't. I notice you're here. It's winter time.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have any skis on any of this what are they skis things? Kansas doesn't have a lot of super snow though, do they?
No, we used
they're
to.
not like northern Minnesota.
We used to have a lot of snow when I was a little kid. I was born in '35, so
Right.
that was just got in the Dust Bowl days.
Right.
I remember when I was a little kid, lived on the farm in the spring and summer in the middle of the afternoon in that Dust Bowl time.
Yeah.
We lived east of what they called the Dust Bowl.
Right.
In the middle of the afternoon, the sun would be blotted out and the sky would be red.
Wow.
From the red dirt from Oklahoma and southern Kansas. It'd blot out the sun.
That's a lot of blowing dust.
Yes. It was awful dry climate then, you know. But, yeah. Lived on a farm a mile from the mailbox.
A mile from the mailbox.
Nobody
Now,
ever
that
drove
is
by
a
our
lot.
place. Nobody ever
Wow.
drove by. Lived next to some pastures.
Wow, that's saying something in Kansas.
Yeah.
I mean, up in North Dakota, I understand, but in Kansas, that is a long way from everywhere.
Yeah. Well,
That's right in the center of our country.
yeah, it is. Yes. You know, Geological Center of the United States, I think is Smith Center, and we're about 80 miles from there.
Are you really?
Mhm. We live right on the west edge of the famous Flint Hills, grasslands region in
Okay.
Kansas. That's where we still have the working ranches and the cowboy.
Wow.
Still have them.
Wow. That is really
Used to
cool.
work.
Except they use four-wheelers more than they use horses.
Well, they use horses.
They actually use horses, huh?
They have
Well, they don't have to fuel them when
they
they're
have
out.
some
They just feed 'em.
four-wheelers. You use a four-wheeler a lot on the farm and the ranches for spot spraying, for
Right.
thistles and stuff in the pastures where you can't get with the ground really. You know.
Right.
I got wore out one doing that on my farm.
Oh, how big is your farm?
Oh, we have about 300 acres.
300
That's
acres.
micro mini.
Micro.
Micro mini, yeah.
Yeah, in Kansas,
That's
in,
not even
in the
honorable
big
mention.
country.
Oh, yeah. It's four-wheel drive country now.
That's about half a section, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 640 acres in the
Yeah.
sections. A little less than that. And then, there used to be a lot of farm population where we lived
Okay.
years ago. Every 80 acres. We had a farm and raised a big family. And if
Wow.
they had a quarter section farmed with horses, they had to have a hired hand.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then everyone started getting bigger. Someone buy them out and get bigger.
Oh yeah, that's still going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really make it at 80 acres anymore.
Oh no.
Not like you used to.
No, that's impossible.
Yeah, you buy one of those big pieces of equipment, and you better plan on doing 20 sections.
That's about right. To pay for it. You got to stay in the seat a long time to pay for it. You bet. Yeah.
Yeah, farm equipment is awesome now. They have the cabs with the air conditioning and they got
Yeah.
speakers going in.
And they got GPS on the
Oh, they got GPS on the tractors.
tractors and the combines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah, back in about 41,
Right.
when the Dust Bowl was over, and western Kansas started the ground started to be farmed again.
Right.
Raised a lot of wheat. My dad was one of the pioneers in custom combining.
Right.
He and his dad and brother, each had a 12-foot full-type Baldwin combine and an H International tractor.
Yep.
And a truck.
Yep.
They'd go down to northern part of Oklahoma and make the harvest there and come home and do the harvest, go to western Kansas and go clear up almost Canadian border.
Wow.
With those machines.
Wow.
And I remember them talking about cutting and hauling the wheat to the elevator for $3 and $3.50 an acre.
Wow.
Yeah. Now it's about $30.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the equipment was that much less, and the labor was that much less.
Yeah. Well, the Baldwin combine, you had to have a man on the combine, even though it was a pull type.
Right.
So you had two men, one to drive the tractor and one to run the wheel that raised and lowered the cutter bar.
Right.
Well, that lasted about a year or so, and somebody come up with an idea of a 6-volt starter with some solenoids on it and made it a forward and reverse to run that. So that was the beginning of eliminating labor.
That's right.
Yeah. Push a button on the tractor to raise and lower the header.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it started pretty early.
Yes. They did. They just kept improving every year.
Oh,
I mean, by the time I went farming, they had the John Deere, and it was one piece, and they had the cutters right in front.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was many years after.
Yes.
We see all that stuff when we get up that country and go to the museums.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a museum by your place?
On agriculture?
Yeah.
I think there's one up towards Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there is.
They show all the old equipment?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's other places around, I think, that have.
Do you have a backyard back in the woods and have all the old stuff all rusted out sitting around?
Oh, we've cleaned up a lot of that stuff. There's
Oh.
much of that left anymore. Yeah.
I remember when I was young, I'd go in the back and I'd walk through all that rusted equipment, and it was cheaper to buy it new than it was to fix it.
Yes.
So they just bring it in back and put it in the back there, and that someday they were going to do something with it.
I know. Yeah. Use it for parts or something.
That's right.
You always got to have a scrap pile on the farm. You don't want to throw that away and get rid of it, because you're going to need it tomorrow if you do.
That's right. As soon as you get rid of it, you need it. But if you don't get rid of it, it sits there forever and never gets touched.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a principle.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a farmer's principle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Farm is a neat place to live.
Yes.
Good place to raise the kids.
Yes, it is.
None better.
Yes, it is. They learn what work is. Eh?
Yeah, close to nature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do they have pheasants on your land?
Yeah, there's some. Not as many as we used to have. I don't know why, but I remember, in the early 50s maybe. The pheasant season was west of 81 Highway, that run through Salina and through Wichita. It was west of that line.
Right.
Well, then a few years after that, then they started migrating to the eastern part of Kansas, so the whole state had a pheasant season. We don't have as many birds as we used to.
Wow. Well, I remember not to come hunting in your place.
Yeah.
We do really good at not having many birds in northern Minnesota, so
Yeah.
I can continue hunting there.
Yeah.
Go down and buy some we got a fellow that raises them about a couple miles from us.
Yeah.
So I just go over there and buy one.
Yeah, they have a lot of game management farms, I guess,
Yeah,
where they
yeah,
raise them and they
yeah.
turn them loose, and the city people can come out and go hunting for a weekend.
That's the kind of hunter I am.
Yeah.
I didn't used to be that.
So
But
that's,
when you get a certain age, it's like hand feed me.
yeah. Yeah. You won't have to walk 5 miles to get one pheasant.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a neat deal.
Well, anything you want to say to your friends that are going to see this video?
Oh, they probably recognize me. I guess I said enough, probably.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Now that's what you call a Kansas farmer.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to say Maurice Pritz, Old Men Stories to the camera, and a nice loud voice.
Old Man Stories. This is Maurice Pritz.
Maurice Pritz and
Yeah.
Roland Willits, Old Men Stories. Thank you.
Love her like the devil when you get back home.